Hey everyone, welcome to Encore, and today I'm going to be doing a review on solar bits from the Solar Field collection. Hey everyone, welcome back. So Solar Bits from Solar Field is a new formulation of pigment that MAC just released, and it's basically a highly condensed cluster of pearlized pigment. And the new formulation allows users to apply the product in two different ways, which is kind of cool. And one suggestion that MAC have is to swish the brush over the top of the clusters. It'll give you more of a subtle shimmer effect. And the second way is to, kind of like crush the particles with the brush and then apply it on, and that's going to give you more of an intense look. And I'm going to show you those two ways today, so that way you can make the most out of solar bits. And I just wanted to discuss a little bit of what it looks like for those of you who's wondering. Unlike pigments, the jar or the packaging is different. They're round and flat. Okay, and regular MAC pigments are about 7.5 grams. And these ones are only 3.9 grams, but they're about the same price. They're $19.50. Now, the weight is about half of what MAC pigments are, but they're a little heavier because there's a lot more metals in it. So therefore, when you open it, it looks like there's not a lot, okay, because they are sold by weight. And I'm just going to show you. There they are. So it looks like it's almost empty. It looks like there's only about a teaspoon in there, or maybe a tablespoon. Okay, so don't be alarmed when you open it and you see like, wow, there's not a lot in there, but because they are sold by weight, and because of the new formulation, they tend to be a little bit heavier because of the clusters, okay? So that's one thing I noticed about the packaging. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm still kind of iffy as far as if I really like this or not. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why. I'm quite not sold about it yet. The colors are intense, and most of them, actually all the four colors, are kind of like in the golden tone and kind of like neutral, very earthy. But the problem I'm having is that it's so messy. Now, I do not suggest pressing these because it's going to lose, the effect and also, the concept of the new formulation. But otherwise, if you guys are not happy with what it is, or if you don't care about the formulation or, the suggested mode of application, then feel free to press them. They are pressable. So, I'm just going to start off with the one I just showed you. This one's called Scatter Ray. Okay. Scatter Ray is kind of like a pinkish nude color. And it looks just like that. And I'm going to show you the two kind of application as I swatch them, okay? Now, the first one that was suggested was to swish the brush on top of the particles, or the clusters. And what I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use a blender brush, let's see, 224, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip my brush in there. Okay, and I'm just really kind of swishing on top of the clusters. Okay, and I'm going to use the lid because there's a lot of particles in it as well. It's probably best so that way you don't contaminate the main jar. Alright, and then I'm just going to swatch it right in my hand. And as you can see, it's flying all over the place. Okay, it's so messy. You're going to get a lot of fall-offs on these, I promise you that. And most of the MAC artists at MAC stores, as you can see, particles all over. It's messy. Messy, messy, messy. Most of the MAC artists encounter suggested that you really need something that will help the particles adhere to the skin like a primer. Unfortunately, the MAC website doesn't even suggest that. So I mean, if you guys ask me, I think they should add that on the website so that people would know that you're going to need a primer or a binder of some sort. But I'm just going to swish that right in my hand, and there you go. So it gives you just a light dusting. If you do that effect, it's very, very metallic finish, as you can see right there. Okay? Now the second application mode that they suggested is to crush the pigments or the clusters with a brush, and therefore it's going to give you a more intense look. And to do that, again, I'm just going to use what I have on the lid. There are clusters in it, and what you want to do is crush them. Crush with the brush just like this, and you can use pretty much any kind of brush that you use. So instead of swishing it just on top, you want to crush it. Alright, and then I'm going to apply it right here. And then you just apply it as normal. Again, you can see the bits flying all over the place. One thing that I really, really don't like, because it gets all over the place. You're going to get fall-offs in your cheeks. Speaking of cheeks, this is actually ideal for both eyes and cheeks. Great for highlighting and stuff if you don't mind the bits all over the place. So there you go. So you get more intensity in color right there, as opposed to just kind of like a light dusting, which is on the top over here. Alright? And of course you're going to see that better as we get to the darker colors. Okay, so that's Scatter Rays. And I'm going to show you Sun Power. And Sun Power is just a little bit more on the darker side. Okay, it's still got that pink tone, but it's kind of more, it's kind of like that antique gold looking, but it's got a little bit of like a pink undertone to it. That's kind of cool. And somehow this looks less than Scatter Ray, and then again because, you know, the particles are heavier. Okay, so there it is, very subtle. Alright, so there's Scatter Ray, and there's Sun Power. Scatter Ray just gives you a little bit more of that golden pink tone compared to Sun Power. That's a little bit more of an antique gold finish to it. Alright. Okay. So there's really not much of a difference. It's just a little bit more muted up here where the Sun Power is. And then here's the Scatter Ray. Okay, so those are the two colors. Now we're going to move on to our third color, and the third color is called Bronze Escape. And the name suggests it all. It's just a little bit more bronzier than golden. Let me show you what it looks like in the jar. So it's darker, it's more bronze looking. It's definitely deeper. There we go. So you get a little bit more color. Compare that to that. And to that. Alright, so it's a little bit more intense. It's almost like kind of like that liquid gold look to it, or liquid bronze. Alright, so there you go, that's Bronze Escape. Alright, and then the fourth color is called Black Ore. And Black Ore has a little bit of green in it, and actually this is probably the best color, in my opinion, out of all the four. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here you go. So it's really dark. There's a lot of green to it. Alright, so that's Black Ore. Alright, so there you go. You can see it's kind of like have that gold and green combination. It reminds me of like a beetle wing. You know, it's like kind of like the greenish gold, you know, coloring. I don't know. It's pretty. It's actually really pretty. So this is probably my favorite out of the four. And there you have it. So again, that's Black Ore, Bronze Escape, Scatter Rays, and Sun Power right here. That's kind of like that subtle gold color right here. There you go. Alright, there you go. So you get a little bit more intensity compared to, you know, a softer brush. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining me, and if you guys are interested in checking these out, do so. They're available now at the counters. Solar Bits from the Solar Field Collection. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!